Alright, what is up? I am Lowput. I'm going to show you guys how to do T6 electricals to make over 900 mil per hour. We're not going to fly no Olympic Gilas because real men fly frigates and Logi. If you didn't know, frigates require 3 filaments to enter a site and therefore pay 3 times as much as doing it in one cruiser, which leads to absolutely ridiculous payouts. You can do these with 2 buddies if you like sharing, or you can triple box it like me if you have no friends. Normally, people like to bling out their Abyssal runners until they can run them 100% stable. My philosophy is the complete opposite. We're going to run very cheap, effective fits that will work most of the time, so we don't care at all about the few times we die due to bad luck. Here are the fits. We're going to run 2 Retributions and a Logi deacon for a grand total of 200 mil. We're running pulse lasers because Conflag got buffed, so you're pushing 800 DPS, and Scorch is all EM damage, which matches the weather penalty for electrical filaments. Here are my stats on Tranquility. I've done 70 sites and I've died in 4 of them, making a 94% success rate. I've looted 23 billion in loot, so after losses and filament costs, that amounts to 16 billion profit, or around 900 mil per hour. That's not even including some rare capital mutaplasmids that I've sold for billions, since not many people are running these so far, which would push my ISK per hour to well over a billion. Also, Trig skill books are added back to the loot table, so your profit will be much higher than mine. Most sites you're looking at a minimum of 300 mil per site, most of which is red loot, which you can sell to NPC buy orders for guaranteed ISK. Basically, you make back your setup after doing one site. There's absolutely no reason to stress over DCs or ganks. Here's a side video of me getting ganked. I get my deacon out with 500 mil in loot using the insta warp trick. I lose my 60 mil retributions and 6 mil pods. And then I looted the ganker's Rex, so I actually ended up making a profit from being ganked. Alright, let's get into the individual sites. These are not easy, you need piloting skills and need to know every spawn, but I'm going to explain every single room. We'll start with the Andrew room. Always start your setup by orbiting the gate at 30, regrouping, and putting your reps on your tank retribution. The first ship to move in the room will take all the initial aggro. Pop ADC to give your reactive hardener time to change. Load conflag, kill Dramios first, then Cinnables. If one of your other ships is webbed, don't forget to orbit it with your tank ship so all of your frigates stay in rep range. It's important to protect your Logi by focusing on targeted shooting your deacon. Your retributions can't rep that much, but your deacon has a nice buffer tank that will let you have enough time to clear everything shooting it. Make sure to focus fire, have a method of doing it, whether it's broadcast or tags. Alright, next we got the Kikimora Room. Your best bet here is to eject from your ship and self-destruct so you can move on to the next run faster. Just kidding, this room is very doable despite what people say, though it is the hardest room and there's very little room for error. Range control is very important here. The Kiki shoot out to 25 kilometers and do around 500 TPS, that ramps up to 1300 DPS over time. Our retributions can only tank 1000 DPS against trig damage type, so we need to break spool by staying at the edge of Scorch range at 21. The Kikis have a higher max speed than you, but they like to kite by orbiting each other in a giant ball, so you end up being faster than the giant ball in practice, and the Kikis constantly move themselves out of range and break spool for you. Here, I realized I made a mistake and got in too close, so I keep my AB to get out. Sure enough, after a couple seconds, I'm taking full damage, so make sure you're keeping track of where you are. There's a variation in this room where the Kikis orbit close in scram range. Just load conflict and kill them. It looks scary, but it's a DPS race, you should win. In this run, I don't even need to use my ADC. Here we have the DED Marshal Room. This is the room that's killing cruisers right now, but it's super easy for frigates since marshal missiles don't apply to you at all. Orbit wide first and kill fast stuff, then go in for the battleships. Mutes are annoying, but your cap recharge is so fast and electrical, it doesn't really matter. The drone BC room requires good manual piloting. They have very high tracking and will alpha you if you run right into them, so they must be kited at the edge of your Scorch range. I like to start by orbiting the gate at 30, kill the webs, then let the drones string themselves out so they get into your range one at a time. might have wondered why my fits have an EM hole. That's because you're shooting tricks most of the time that do thermal explosive, and the only difficult room that shoots EM is the Sansha Room. However, this room is fully cuttable, there's no need to face tank anything here. Just be careful when they switch aggro. There's a lot of small things you can do to make this room easier, which you have to just practice and learn. For example, if they focus on the Logi, I like to re-anchor around the Logi and burn it out of range so the Retributions are between the rats and your deacon. The Leshak room is really interesting. Hear AB and burn right for the Leshaks at the gate. Don't even worry about transversal. You have an ADC and time is the most important thing here. The Leshaks start with no armor, but remote rep each other, and some of them starburst away. So any extra time you take in the beginning exponentially increases the time it takes to do this room. Kill everything at the gate, then chase down the Leshaks that burn away. In the Karbdis room, you want to pull transversal and spiral into the battleship as you kill sleepers. Then switch to the Karbdis when you're able to orbit close. It likes to burn away from you towards the edge of the room, so I like to leave some rats to kill as I'm burning back to the gate after I've killed the battleship to maximize time efficiency. You can get wrecking shot by the battleship and get alpha'd. Wrecking shots ignore tracking and range, so there's nothing you can do about it, and this is why we fly cheap. It has happened to me twice in the 70 runs, but I was able to finish this room and the next with just one Retribution one of the times, so don't give up. The drone battleship is the exact same thing as the Karbdis. You can get randomly alpha'd by wrecking shot, but this battleship does web you, so you want to start orbiting by 500 meters, then as you drift away due to webs, orbit at whatever range you're at to keep maximum transversal. For the Vila Vedmak spawn, you can ignore the swarmer drones, load conflag and kill frigates in scram range first, then Scorch and kill Vedmaks if they're kiting. There's a lot of variations of the trick spawns, but you want to do the same strategy for most of them. Kill the Vedmaks first that orbit close, then try to get in conflag range for the rest, and if you can't, just use Scorch to burn them down. The deep water battleship room is extremely easy. Just pull any amount of transversal and the battleships cannot track you at all. Just get in conflag range and kill them each one by one. The small drones room is the easiest room by far. It should only take around 3 minutes. You can go to one of those turrets that shoot them for you, but it really doesn't matter. Just load Scorch and kill them all. There's a couple variations of the Scylla sleeper drone room, but they're all the same. Kill newts first, then webs. Make sure to orbit your other ships with your anchor once you're webbed. You learn small things like after you cut enough DPS to tank the room, just sit still at the gate so things orbit you the closest, and you can apply max DPS to the conflag. Alright, that's all of them. Good luck out there, and message me in game if you have any questions. Also, if you're looking for a PvP corp, Flying Dangerous is recruiting. We're a bunch of old vets teaching your players how to PvP, so join in-game channel, relax recruitment if you're interested.